Thank you so much for watching Wati's video. In this video today, we are going to explain to you the new pricing, the WhatsApp official API updates, which is from messaging based, changing to a conversation based model on the charging for official WhatsApp API. So in this video today, it may be a bit long, but it will cover everything about the conversation based pricing, including what this is, what is the definition, how you will get charged, and also what will be the best practice under the new pricing model. So stay with us. In this video today, we will cover everything, including different scenarios and what circumstances you will get charged. Let's take a look. So first of all, for the agenda today, we'll give you a background of this update, from message-based to conversation-based, how exactly that works and what that means. And how would that affect Wati pricing if you are existing Wati clients? And how would that affect you based on your use case and usage in WhatsApp? And later on, we'll provide different scenarios to give you better explanations on in what situation you will get charged and how many conversations you will get charged on that. Last but not least, to assist you to onboard better in the new pricing model, we'll give you a quick summary and the best practice for you as well. Let's get started. So as a background, the conversation-based pricing is driven entirely by WhatsApp. So everyone that is using the official API in the world will be fall under this pricing change. So the pricing update will be effective starting from the 1st of February in 2022. Which that is applicable to anyone that use the official API, no matter if you're using a platform that's using official API or you yourself have the direct API of the WhatsApp API gateway. So everyone, if you're using that official API supplied by WhatsApp, that will be affected and will be charging based on the conversation-based pricing. So one thing to highlight on that is if you're sending outbound message to your client, which is using the template message right now, the approval process will remain unchanged at the moment. So you will still need to submit a template for approval before you can send any, initiate any outbound message to your client. So that process will not change. And in Wati, you will have to provide a prepaid credit in your account in order to start using the conversation-based pricing model. So regarding the changes from message-based to conversation-based, how it works and what exactly that means, in the past, WhatsApp API, they are charging per template message that you send out. For example, as a business, if I'm Wati and I'm informing my clients about the upcoming webinar, so each single message that I send out to my client will be charged. Say if it's like $1 for one message, if I send 1,000 messages, that will be $1,000. However, in the upcoming case on the conversation-based model, you will be charging per conversation. So here we are going to explain you what a conversation means and how it works, what types of conversation will be included. First of all, as I mentioned, from a message, it will charge a conversation. So each conversation, the definition, that will be 24-hour session for each conversation. So it will be a hard start and hard stop for every conversation. There are two types of conversation. One is the business initiate conversation. Same as what happened that if you're like a WhatsApp API user as the company side and you're sending it to your client and user, that will be initiated by your WhatsApp API number, which is the business side, to the user side. So from business to user, that will be business initiate conversation, and you're triggering the template message to your client. So say if Wati would like to send a webinar reminder at 3 p.m. today, then I will trigger a message to all of my clients. Say I have a webinar at 3 p.m. Remember to join tomorrow, the standard message, etc., and Zoom link, etc. So from the moment I initiate the message as a webinar reminder, a template message at 3 p.m., the business conversation will be started. That will be the hard start of 24 hours. So I can keep sending different approve the template message within this 24 hours period from 3 p.m. today to 3 p.m. tomorrow, within this 24 hours period, I'll be able to send multiple template messages within this one business initiate conversation. So in each 24 hours, there will be just one type of conversation. So either there will be business or user initiate conversation. So that will be the case of business initiate conversation. The 24 hours counting will be starting from the first template message the business initiate. So that will be the definition of business initiate conversation. The other type will be user initiate conversation. By the name, that will be a message starting from the user side. So similar case at the moment now, it will be the incoming message that you receive from your customer first, and that will be the user initial conversation, how it will start. However, the 24 hours counting will only start once the business have responded to the client. What that means is that, for example, if a client is reaching out at 1 p.m. to me as a Wati client, so me as a Wati customer support team, let's say I reply at 1:30 p.m. manually, then the conversation will not start at 1 p.m. However, that will start at 1:30 p.m. the moment that me as a business side, Wati, reply to the client. And until from 1:30 today to 1:30 tomorrow, that will be the conversation of user initial conversation period of WhatsApp. So easy understanding here, for conversation-based pricing, there are two types of conversation that indicates which side started the conversation, which is the business side or the user side. The business initiate conversations will starting from the moment that the business initiate a template message to client. Whereas the user initiate conversation will start counting that 24 hours when the moment you as a business replying to the client at that moment. And in each 24 hours, there will only be one type of conversation going on. If you start the conversation first as a business, for that 24 hours, even if you exchange a few messages with your client, if they reply to you and you reply to them, that will still be the business conversation. Same case for user initiated conversation. If your user start a conversation first and you reply to them, and within the ongoing 24 hours here, if you send out a template message, that will only be charged as one user initiated conversation only. So the next part, how exactly that will affect Wati's pricing. On this part, for the past plan and the new pricing, the subscription price remains unchanged. And for the template message, that will change to the business initiate conversation. And for the session message part, that will change to user initiate conversation. In short, we will provide the subscription at the same price, and the free limit of customer support message will be changing from 1,000 conversation per hour for all plans. Okay, and for the pricing structure, that will be subscription fee that is fixed monthly or annually, plus the user initiate conversation and the user and the business initiate conversation that you use. So again, if you are talking to one user, maximum in one calendar month of 30 days, for example, you will only be charged with that user maximum 30 conversations. For example, I'm Crystal and I'm talking to Wati in a continuous 30 days period on my support and then usage or anything. So we have a conversation for 30 days non-stop. That will be 30 conversations only. So in this case, you will be easier to manage your estimation. If you have a kind of like a fixed amount of monthly active user that you're talking to, then you can estimate and make the cost predictable based on the potential conversation that you will have with a certain client or user. So for different use cases, how will CBP affect you? There are a few use cases that usually people using WhatsApp as for WhatsApp API would be. So first of all, that would be businesses sending frequent notification. If you are sending frequent notification as outbound messages or template messages, in the past you will be charging per message. And now you can actually send multiple templates to your user within a single conversation. So in this case, you will now only pay for the conversation instead of the multiple template messages that you will have. And the second case of sending outbound message will be if you're sending infrequent notification. That means you occasionally send out the template messages. So in this case, you will still pay for each conversation based on your needs, but you can consider to start with different cases. For example, if you send one outbound messages like our case, a webinar reminder the day before, maybe you can consider to make the best use of this 24-hour session of your business initiate conversation. For example, you can schedule another message 30 minutes ahead of the webinar as a reminder to join, and also with the Zoom link. And after the webinar, you can also send a follow-up message for them with a different call to action to facilitate the conversion, or also send out a survey to your customer to ask them for feedback about the webinar. So this will be some like brainstorming for how you will make the best use of the outbound notification. And for other use case will be more for customer support and incoming message. If you're responding to a user initiate message, which is the incoming message from the customer, from them you will be charged for a user conversation based charge. So that will have like two different pricing in these two cases. And here will be some useful link that you can access to for Wati user. If you're Wati clients already, you'll receive this PDF and also links to the new pricing as well. And now, after the definition, we would like to go through some scenarios to give you a better idea in what sense you will get charged by WhatsApp, or how many conversations you will get charged here. So here in this case, that will be say sending from commercial air. You can take around 10 seconds to take a look and think of in what cases what kind of conversation it will get charged. You can also take a look on the time of the message as well. So for this, the answer will be commercial air will be charged for one business initiate conversation, because within the 24 hours conversation period, you can send multiple approved template message. Therefore, in this case, it's 1 p.m. and then it is before the end of 24 hours conversation, which is even if you are sending two template message or even multiple template messages, it would just be one business initiate conversation. And here comes to scenario 2. I'll leave you around 10 seconds to take a look of the case and then determine what is the charges here. So in this case, commercial air will be charged for one user initiate conversation. And for example, if you can see here, and the imaginary passenger of commercial air, it will be sending a message at 1:09 p.m. and the commercial air customer support replied at 3:30 p.m. So the user initiate conversation will start at 3:30 p.m. until the next day 3:30 p.m. So in this case, once the business reply, that will trigger the user initiate conversation charges and countdown of 24 hours, and that will last until the next day 3:30 p.m. in this timestamp. So scenario 3, I'll give you a few seconds as well to take a look of the case. In this case, Uptown Cosmetics, this business account will be charged for one business initiate conversation. So for the user, I'm sorry if it is blocking your side. Okay, so for the user, it replies to the message. However, as I mentioned, how this conversation will be counted, that is based on who initiated the conversation first. So for this case, Uptime Cosmetic is the one that initiated the conversation with the template message first. Therefore, they will be charged for one business initiate conversation, and that will be starting from 10:41 a.m. to the next day 10:41 a.m. Okay, for the next case, scenario 4, you can also have a few seconds to take a look on this case and consider how that will get charged. Okay, so in this case, Kicks as the business account that will get charged for one user initiate conversation and one business initiate conversation. So as you can see on the image on the right, that is initiated by the user first. So that is pretty clear. That is like a user initiate conversation, and Kicks reply, actually at the exact same time. So the conversation will start at 1:13 p.m. on this day until the next day 1:13 p.m. And as you can see, for the next conversation that is start after 1:13 p.m. that will start another business initiate conversation at 3:45 p.m. So therefore, there will be two different conversations here, one user initiate and one business initiate conversation. They will charge as two conversations in total. And scenario 5, as you can see, we are now taking Wati as a use case here. Alright, so for this scenario, Wati will be charged for one business initiate conversation only because they are sending the two template message within a 24-hour session. So I guess this one is pretty straightforward, just as another exercise for you to take a look of the conversation. The next one will be also Wati as a use case. So you can see there are exchange of message here. And you can take a look what will be the conversation type and number of conversations that will get charged. Okay, so in this case, Wati will still only be charged for one business initiated conversation. As you can see, Wati is sending like a message to their client, and the client replied it. So the business initiate conversation start at 8 p.m. on the day that Wati triggered the message to client, and the client replied it. And actually, that makes already a sales conversion with the client. So Wati is sending like a thank you for purchase message, or like order confirmation, and then there's like another shipping confirmation. Everything happened within 24 hours. It is still not like 8 p.m. yet. And therefore, in this case, it will only be charged as one business initiate conversation. So last scenario 7. As you can see, there are multiple messages exchanged here as well. So you can take a look on how it will get charged by WhatsApp. Okay. So in this case, Wati as a business account, it will be charged for two user initiate conversations. As you can see, the conversation will be starting from the user side. So this is the first user initiate conversation. As Wati reply at 1:30 p.m. So the user initiate conversation will start at 1:30 to the next day 1:30 p.m. And I can see until here with different exchange of message, the first user initiate conversation will stop here until 7:35, this one here, because the conversation should start from 1:30 to another 1:30. And the next conversation here, the message coming in is actually after 1:30, which is 4 something. So that is starting another conversation. And since Wati replied at 5:30, the next conversation is starting from 5:30. So we have two user initiate conversation here. The first one start from yesterday 1:30 p.m. to today 1:30 p.m. And the next one start from the reply from Wati as well, starting from 5:30 p.m. will be to the next day 5:30 p.m. So in this sense, you can get an understanding about how will the conversation get charged, and also how many conversation that will involve in 24 hours, and when will the conversation have a hard start and hard stop. Everything will be with the 24-hour session, so that is pretty easy to understand and calculate. You just need to know when will be the moment the 24 hours will start counting down. Okay, as a quick summary, as I mentioned, the business user will be charged per conversation with the 24 hours window. That is counts as one conversation. And the business side that will start with the first message you trigger from the business as a template message to user, or the user initiate conversation will be start with your first reply to the client message. And the conversation price with a user or business initiate conversation, that varies by country. So you will need to go to the Wati website and check the pricing of your country. So say I'm personally in Hong Kong, that fall under the rest of Asia Pacific pricing, then I'll have a different pricing with India, US, North America, Mexico, etc. Therefore, it really depends on what will be your user base. If I'm sending, as a Hong Kong company, if I'm sending the conversation with a Mexican client, for example, then I will be charged as the Mexican business or user initiate message pricing with that user. If I'm sending message with Indian user, then I will be charged with the Indian pricing. So do take a look and understand your client base, or the number that they use. That will have a different charges based on the conversation, but that is similar to the template message. If you're sending to a Hong Kong number, then you'll be charging the rest of Asia Pacific pricing. If you're sending to Indian number, then you'll be charging the Indian pricing. So that is similar case, but just bear in mind that that varies by country. Yeah, so I think we have a summary here about the 24 hours increment, the type of message, which is the user initiate message and business initiate message, how it will get charged, how the 24 hours will be counted. So all this is already covered in this around 20 minutes video. Last but not least, in this new conversation-based charge model, how can you ace it? How can you make the best of it? For the best practice, I would suggest if you are sending outbound message, make sure that you make a really well-structured template message, as you can start to send multiple template message in 24 hours. And you will also make sure that you have a good call to action or follow-up with clients that may have different purposes. For example, if it's like a webinar reminder, you want to make sure that they will be attending the webinar. You want to guarantee the attendance rate. If it's like a sales message, like a quality-based message that you would like to send some stock update, or promotion thing, or any suggestion for your client that you would like to lead to a sales conversion. So you can structure different message in 24 hours to offer different information for the user, or different advantages of using certain product in order to drive the sales and conversion. So I would suggest, for example, you can schedule a well-structured message in 24 hours. Let's say a webinar reminder, that I'm going to a webinar at 3 p.m. Then I would like to send a reminder at 5 p.m. the day before, and then 30 minutes before the webinar as a reminder on the same day, and a follow-up message after the webinar. So in this case, I on purpose started at 5 p.m. so I will have enough time to send the same follow-up message within the with the PDF deck of the webinar within 24 hours as well. And therefore, in this case, I'll only be charged for one business initiate conversation, even if I'm sending 3 template message out. So for support-wise, that really encourage the businesses to follow with the with your client in a timely manner within 24 hours. So to be fair, for anyone who reach out to a business on WhatsApp, they will be expecting relatively a quicker response or even instant response from the business. And therefore, it's actually a good thing that we have this 24 hours window that can guarantee a certain support level for the client as well, that we can reply to them in a timely manner, no matter via automation, with a bot reply or with a human reply, in order to assist your client hopefully within 24 hours and resolve their inquiries. So this best practice, it is like a suggestion for all of you. If you have any question on the setup about Wati, how you can send out template messages, and also to build your own bot, you can feel free to reach out to our customer support team. Feel free to go to our help center, that we have a really rich article to assist you there, to our different integration that can lead to automation. For example, the Google Sheet automation that we just launched, and also different automation that you can configure in Wati. And also during your own configuration and setup, if you have any question, please feel free to send us an email via hello@wati.io. We will have our support team to reply to you in a timely manner. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a clear understanding on the new pricing and be prepared for the pricing update on 1st of February 2022. Thank you so much.